guys, welcome back. I am Patty Elhoff, the author of Upcycle with Decoupage, and I thought I would take one of these glass vases. Do you have a few of these laying around? You don't quite want to throw them away when you get flowers in them because they're very nice little glass vases, but you end up having a bunch of them laying around. I thought we would upcycle them and turn them into something pretty that looks like this. And aside from all of that massive glitter I have up on the top, there's also a little bit of crackle. It's a very fine porcelain crackle finish over the surface that I will show you how to get. And here's how I achieved this look. So I took tissue paper, and this is the kind of tissue paper that you put inside of gift bags, and I used 4 different colors. And I took one sheet of each color and put them all together. And you want to make sure you tear off any of the hard edges. We're not going to need any of these straight edges. Now, one side of the paper tears very easily and it just goes right along the side. And the other side kind of chips away like this. If you want, you can use a fine artist's paintbrush, which you would just dip in water and run along the edges. Or you can use something called an aqua brush, which is normally meant for watercolor, but it comes in really handy when you're trying to tear these sides. It comes in handy for decoupage in general. So this aqua brush just goes right along the side here. You fill it with water, and you go right along the side here and pull away the edges. And you want to do this for every piece of paper that you are using. And once you've removed all of those edges, tissue paper is so thin you can place 2, 3, 4 sheets together and just go right down the center and tear a nice clean line. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make smaller sections. And again, remember the tissue paper in one direction, it tears very easily like this, so make sure you have it in the right direction. And then when you're done, you want to tear those in half. And I'm trying to get these to be about the same shape and the same width. You don't have to get carried away with it, but you do want them to be pretty much all in the same shape. And now I put a bit of decoupage glue. This is napkin decoupage glue because it will sink through this tissue paper a lot easier. And this is on my Facebook page and my website. You can buy it or just read about it. This all goes through Amazon, so if you have Prime, all the same features apply. I applied the decoupage glue to one section at a time, put some tissue paper on, and I just kept changing the colors. Now let me slow this down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I am pulling the tissue paper a little tightly. You can see that brush is loaded with a lot of decoupage glue, and I'm going back and forth over the tissue paper to smooth out some of the wrinkles. I did overlap up at the top there because we're just going to file that away later. And I am using these strictly in a horizontal pattern. So I don't want it to be too haphazard. I keep putting these on in the same direction. I'm kind of going for this ocean feel here, and since the ocean, when you look at it, it is horizontal, I'd like it to look a little bit wavy, and I'm using probably 3 different shades of blue and 1 shade of green. One other thing to keep in mind with this, tissue paper, like acrylic paint, works best when you put the darker colors on the bottom and then the lighter colors over top. So you may want to add if you're using this color theme, you may want to add the green first and then place some blues over top of it. This works best when you cover one side first and then go around to the other side. So work from the top to the bottom, keep overlapping all of your colors. And by the way, I'm not covering the bottom. I'm going to overlap near the bottom. Then I'm going to file away the excess. So I'll just fast forward this, but I want to keep it going so you can see, get an idea of how I do this. I noticed there's a little hole up there in the top. That's no problem. You can just cover it up with another piece of tissue paper if that happens to you. Now what I wanted to mention is, because we're applying the decoupage glue to the base and over the surface, we won't need to go over this with another coat of decoupage glue when we're done. But we will need to dry this. If you're not going to dry it in the oven, you would probably want to leave this out at least overnight to dry, because this is a very thick coat of decoupage glue. If you would like to put it in the oven, you could put it in the oven at 170 degrees. Keep your oven on for about 10 minutes and let this and the oven cool off at the same time when you turn the oven off. I put it on a piece of parchment paper, and I think I left it in the oven for a couple of hours. Here's where I set it to 170 and just left it in there for a while. Now that everything's dry, I'm taking a nail file and I'm going to file in one direction. This is very important. Once in a while I'll get an email from someone who's very annoyed with me because when they filed, they pulled away the decoupage, which is why I always say only file in one direction. And that direction has to be downward, so you don't want to go against the grain. If you'll notice, I am pulling the file in, so that you don't pull away any of your work. You're just filing away that excess that you don't want any longer. And I'm doing this on the top and the bottom. It pulls away pretty easily. Then when you're done, take a clean, damp rag. Make sure it's just damp too, and go all around the top and the bottom, actually the whole surface, just to make sure you remove any of those filings away. And now let's just put this aside to make sure it's totally dry for a moment. And once it's completely dry, I am taking this product called Distress Crackle Paint in Clear Rock Candy. And again, this will be on my Facebook page. If you want to buy it, you can go over there and get it, or you can go to my website, Upcycle Decoupage, and the link will be below. Now what I'm doing is taking a paintbrush and I'm going to apply it again in that same direction, horizontally. You have to shake this really well, by the way. And this is not complicated to use. There is a little bit of a thin line though between applying too much, where it can get goopy and drip a little bit, and where you don't apply enough so that you don't end up with the crackle. So you may want to play around with this. You can fool around with this project on a baby food jar or on a liquor bottle, even a glass, anything that you have, to see how you like the looks of all the colors and how this crackle finish works. And what I'm going to do is cover the whole surface. And again, I'm going in that horizontal direction. I'm going to cover this whole surface with this Crackle Medium by Tim Holtz. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to put this aside to dry, but I'm only going to let it air dry until I start to see the crackles. Once I start to see some cracking, it's now okay to take my heat gun and go over the whole surface and help them appear even more quickly. Now if you can see, there are very tiny porcelain-like cracks in here. So this isn't a huge crackle finish. It's like fine porcelain. What happens to it over years after it ages, the effect is really beautiful. And you kind of have to see it in person. I don't know if you can really see it too well here, but I'm also going to take another step to bring those crackles out, and I'll show you what that is. You can let this medium air dry. You don't have to use the heat gun. Once the glass has cooled down, I am taking this product called Perfect Pearls, and this one is a very deep blue color, and I'm going to shake a little bit of it over the vase, and this wipes away. You can use your fingers, you can use a brush. This is actually dried up a little bit. It shouldn't be like that. Normally you wouldn't be able to shake it out like this. You can dip a brush in here and then apply it. But watch what happens as I rub it in. Now you'll start to see all of these tiny chips, because this Perfect Pearls this product is going deep into those crackles. And I'm going to use a couple of different colors only to show you how it shows up, how it looks with different colors. So this was the royal or dark blue. Here's this rich burgundy color. Well, it kind of comes out more like a copper. And I did this more because it's a lot easier to see how it can look. Now it's a little too glossy there, so what I did was took the damp rag and just wiped away. And then I took this gold color. You can also do this with white. There are all different colors. You want to see what you like the best on your project. Again, I'm just trying to show you the different colors and how they look. And I'm just trying to give you an idea here of what these different colors will look like. And once I'm done with all of the perfect pearls, I'm going to take a spray top coat, and this is a very high gloss spray, triple thick, and I'm going to take this outside and spray a coat of this on there. Sorry, I'm out of frame there. And let it dry. It dries very quickly. And I'm using this product called Viva Decor's Crystal Gel. Now this particular bottle is from Germany, so it's got the German spelling on it, but on my website it will be in the American spelling, Crystal Gel, and on my Facebook page. And you want to use this with a spatula, and this is meant to be put over the surface in a very chunky manner. And because I am a glitter fanatic, I am taking 4 different colors of glitter, and they're all in the blue-green family, because I'm going to add that all to this crystal gel while it's still wet. So let me add the crystal gel up around the top here. I'll apologize in advance. When I started to put the glitter on, I noticed that only after I started to watch the video back that I was out of frame with that, so you'll only be able to see the glitter falling onto this surface. So I added the crystal gel all around the surface. I am going up over the top a little bit here because that will help to keep the paper on here, the tissue paper on the vase. And while that crystal gel is still wet, I just put it on there, I am now taking all 4 of the different color glitter that I have. Glitter sounds like a funny word. And I'm going to sprinkle it directly onto the crystal gel. Here's where I get out of frame. I'm sorry about that. I was looking around the camera instead of through it to make sure I got these different glitter colors on here. Crystal gel. Now the crystal gel took all of overnight to dry. So you want to put this aside to dry. And here is a baby food jar where I just used the crystal gel, and there is already some type of a glitter in there. It's a little bit of a green, but I am also using the holographic crystal gel. I believe that there's a clear one also, but this is how it looks. And in the sun, it looks really brilliant. It's just got a whole lot of fire to it. Very pretty. But now I will show you the finished vase that I just worked on. So I'll turn it around a little bit in the sunlight so that you can see all of that brilliant glitter up at the top. The crystal gel is showing through a little bit, and you can see some of those tiny, tiny cracks that are supposed to be there in the vase. So I'll show you a few more pictures of this outside that I took in the sunlight. This can be used as a votive. You can put candles in here. You can keep your paintbrushes in it. You can also add flowers to it. But I love that we have all of these glass vases that so many of us probably keep, and they're just sitting around, and we plan to reuse them, but we don't. When it looks like this, or you make something to your liking, you are going to keep it out just so that you can have a look at it. And when company comes over, they'll also be fascinated and ask you where you got the beautiful vase. You're going to be so happy when you tell them you made this. So in the meantime, thank you so much. I am so happy to help when I can. It's taking me quite a while to get back to you on my YouTube channel. Don't forget, Upcycle with Decoupage is also on Facebook, and if you go over and like and follow the page, you'll be notified every week when I put a new video out. I have now got links to these products directly on my Facebook page, so you can just click right on the link and go over and read about it or buy the product. And everything goes through Amazon. If you've got Amazon Prime, all of the same features apply, and you can do all of your shopping while you're there. You don't have to just get the supplies or what I recommend. The supply list will be on my website, and the link to that is just below this video. Subscriptions mean everything to us over here. Thank you so much, my friends, for subscribing. Share my videos all over the place, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you'd like. It's a huge help to me, and it allows me to keep making these videos for you. Thank you so much. I genuinely mean that. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you like this week's project, and I will see you next week with another video. Thanks again, friends. Bye-bye.